Have you ever felt guilty because of something you did or didn't do? How did that make you feel? How did that affect your actions or lack thereof? Today, I want us to talk about why we shouldn't let guilt paralyze us, how to reflect on a situation, why it happened, how to move forward. But the fact of the matter is, letting guilt paralyze us causes it to be all consuming and really for it to win. That is such a strong emotion. However, it's just that. So we need to process it and move forward and don't stay in that moment because it was a moment, but we aren't meant to be stuck there. So let's go ahead and dive in, talk about all the things, and let's move forward together. Are you too busy to prep healthy meals? Do you feel self-conscious about your body and your clothes not fitting right, but you don't have time to work out? Does your life feel unorganized and messy? Do you wish you had routines and habits that made health simple, even with your busy schedule? I know, I've been there. Hi, I'm Shannon Marquita, and no one ever really taught me how to eat healthy. I didn't know anything about nutrition, so I found myself eating whatever was easy, which definitely impacted my energy, weight, and focus. That's why I created this podcast, to show you that through healthy habits and time management, you can know you're doing health right. So stop scrolling social, clicking the ads, and buying all the things. Let's grab our Americano and pop in our AirPods. It's time to solve the real problem together. Welcome home. A fresh start awaits. So I first want to start by saying feeling guilty sometimes is justifiable. We're human. We're not perfect. We make the wrong decision. We make the wrong choice, all sorts of things. But feeling guilty and letting guilt completely paralyze you are two very different things. Feeling guilty is reflection upon that moment or decision, whatever it may have been, and realizing that was wrong. I should have done something different. And so we pause, we reflect. Why did we make that choice? Why did we make that decision? Why did we not do the right thing? Maybe we didn't know the right thing. Maybe we made the best choice with the information we had. Maybe we were peer pressured. Maybe we were overwhelmed. Who knows? There's all sorts of questions we could ask based on whatever the moment and decision was. However, we don't need to stay there. By staying in that moment and constantly letting it be on repeat in our minds causes us to be paralyzed in that moment potentially forever. We don't get to grow. We don't get to move forward. We don't get to have the opportunity to make things right. So the reality is feeling guilty will happen. I'm not saying it will never happen. It happens to me. It will happen to you again. But we need to pause, reflect, and then grow from it. By doing that, we actually are using that moment as an opportunity to make ourselves better. And that's what I want for you and for me, is we need to process the guilt, we need to learn from it, but then we need to let go of it and we need to move on. Guilt of falling short, what we did or didn't do, is paralyzing. And it keeps us from what potentially could be not just good, but greatness. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you to be constantly living in the past. I want you to learn from whatever the past had to teach you, but I want you to have the best future possible. And by teaching others what you learned from those moments, right? The truth is, there's always people who are a few steps behind us. And so by sharing what we've learned, what we've lived through, all the things allows them to also have tools and resources to make better decisions. So something that you went through, yes, it may have caused guilt and remorse, but it could also be an opportunity for you to be a mentor to someone else. So keep that in mind next time you make a mistake or a bad decision that you wish you could redo. Sometimes we're able to have a redo, which is great. Not often, not always, but take the lesson from that and pay it forward and make sure that you have a mentor yourself, someone that you respect, who your values align with, so that when they're a few steps ahead of you, maybe in a moment where you have to make a decision and you might be feeling unsure or peer pressured, go to them for advice and input and see what they say to help guide your decision so that you can hopefully learn from past mistakes of yours and theirs and avoid some of the hardships of guilt and mistakes that you don't need to necessarily make yourself. Because the truth is that we're all human. We will fall short again and again. We just hope that it starts to happen less frequently and that the magnitude begins to decrease with those decisions and choices that we do make that aren't the best. So I'd like to think that I learn and I do and I repeat. And although mistakes are happening, I'm constantly learning and I'm not letting it paralyze me and cause me to be stuck. And I'm taking action and I'm just constantly repeating that cycle so that I can be better, do better, pay it forward, and just continue to grow into who I know I'm meant to be and allow others the grace and space to do the same by sharing the things that I learn along the way. But if I just sit with guilt and I don't do that, it honestly causes me to not be able to serve others. And I don't want that for me or for you. I want us to be able to serve others and encourage others and all of us just to reach our full potential. But in order to do that, we can't sit in one place with guilt, constantly ruminating. We need to process it, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on. So we are always showing other people what's possible. We're reflecting, and again, we're moving on. So if I could leave you with one thing, it would honestly be to always make sure you show up. Do better. I mean, we're going to make mistakes, right? We've already said that. We've already experienced it. And the truth is that we're not perfect, but if we continue to show up, we continue with a commitment to learn and do better, and we just repeat this process, it's amazing what can happen. But I know in my own experience, when I've made mistakes or when I've fallen short in ways that I'm supposed to be serving others or any capacity in my life, I have allowed myself to feel guilty. And it's caused me to feel embarrassed sometimes to not want to show up because I feel like I let other people down or maybe I wasn't worthy. But the truth is that that's not true. I am worthy. I'm also human, just like you. So learn from our mistakes, be honest and real, apologize. It's okay to apologize. It's honestly a wonderful thing. And it shows other people that it's okay for them to make mistakes too and also apologize. It's just like with kids. We aren't perfect. We don't expect them to be perfect. Yes, we continue to try, but by apologizing, we're also showing them that we're human. We make mistakes. We love unconditionally, and we're going to learn from these mistakes. We're going to grow, and we're going to keep showing up, doing better, and repeating this process. So I hope this was helpful because sometimes, I don't know, I feel like I'm expected to be perfect, and I'm sure other people feel that way as well, but that just isn't the case. So do your best, learn from mistakes, don't stay stuck there, and just keep showing up, doing your best, and repeating this process. I hope you guys are doing well. I always love talking with you. If you have anything that you are processing or you're not sure how to kind of take the next steps or overcome that decision or mistake or anything it might be, shoot me a direct message. Any of the social media platforms at Shannon Marquita, that's Marqueta, and I can give you some feedback, advice. We can also go ahead and schedule a one-on-one healthy habits coaching session where we can dive deeper. But I love talking with you, and I hope that you have a great week. If this podcast helped, challenged, or inspired you in some way, I would love it if you'd do me a huge favor and leave me a review over on Apple Podcasts. It helps me to hear from you and know how this is best serving you. And go ahead and screenshot this and share it in your stories. Tag me at Shannon Marquita. That's ShannonMarqueta. And send it over to a friend in a text who is ready for healthy changes in her life too. Let her know that this episode might serve her as well. I am just so grateful for you and would love to hear from you. Come hang out and let's connect over in my Facebook group, bit.ly/afreshstart, or send me a message. I look forward to seeing you back here in a few days.